You think that they did it suddenly. You think that they did a suddenly Seymour on you. But actually, it was a long time coming, and your change did come. The narcissist left you, they abandoned you, they got gone, they skedaddled, they eased on down the road. And they leave you asking yourself, why did they leave? You think that they left you suddenly, but what you didn't realize is that you resisted the enemy, and all he did was flee. Have you ever been sitting up somewhere thinking to yourself after a breakup, but what did I do? What did I do to cause them to leave? Have you ever been sitting up trying to figure out how and why you got ghosted? Why they just all of a sudden stopped talking to you? What in the world happened? You think that suddenly something went wrong. Suddenly you said the wrong thing. Suddenly you showed them the wrong face, or you gave out the wrong behavior. That's what you initially think. And that's exactly how they want it. They want you to blame yourself. Them leaving you had nothing to do with you and everything to do with their decision. What you have to remember about a narcissist is they have an agenda. They come in the door with an agenda. They have a purpose for coming into your life. They come in the door, and sometimes they kick in the door with their plans, schemes, and plots. And 9 times out of 10, they want to come in unsuspecting. They want to come in covert. They want to come in disguise. They have their plans, but they don't want you to know them. They have their agenda, but they don't want to show it to you. The first thing that happened that makes you think that the narcissist suddenly left is you saw them. You saw that mask slip. And the narcissist is like, you see me? Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. They were not expecting that, and they were not prepared for that. They thought that they were well hidden. They thought that they had hidden their agenda from you. You're starting to put 2 and 2 together. The narcissist is feeling exposed. They're feeling naked and ashamed. They did not want to have you see them. They pride themselves on this false image. So they didn't want you to see the real them. Now that you can see the real them, they can't hide anywhere. There's nowhere else to hide, nowhere to run. They start to understand they're not going to be as powerful anymore because you actually see them. They're not going to be able to get over on you as much because you can see the truth now. You can see them for who they really are. It seems sudden to you because the narcissist got found out. They don't plan to stick around anywhere where it's not easy for them to fool people. Their goal is to trick people and get over on them. And if you see them, that goal and that agenda becomes harder for them. The second thing about the narcissist leaving that made it seem like it was sudden is because you began to get smarter. You began to start developing strategy. You got tired of that narcissist taking advantage of you over and over again. You got tired of them hurting you over and over again. You began to circumvent their plans. When they started doing things like asking you for money and being irresponsible with bills and etc., you began to come up with plans. You started saving money. You started being strategic when it came to spending money and paying bills. You started to make it impossible or very difficult for them to siphon funds from you. When it came to them cheating and trying to get over on you, you began to ask questions. You began to get smarter. You began to see past their plots and plans. You began to circumvent those plans, intercept them. And the narcissist was not having that. In a narcissist's mind, they have to be the smartest. They have to be smarter than you. And when they find out that you're just as smart, or you can outsmart them, they don't like this. They're going to be using that as their reason. They're going to use that discovery as their reason to get out of Dodge. They see you dodging their setups and their plans and their traps and they get out of Dodge. You're only as good to a narcissist as much as they can get over on you. They don't plan to stick around if getting over on you is not still possible. The devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. That's his agenda. That's his purpose. That's his motive. And if you make that difficult for him, he's going to flee. The third thing that made it seem like the narcissist suddenly left was you got a backbone. You started to stand up for yourself. You started to say what thus said the Lord. You started to fight back. Not in the physical sense per se, but you started to engage in spiritual warfare with this narcissist. You started to engage in combat. You started to speak the truth to the narcissist. You started to disengage and not allow them to continue to do certain things to you or to get away with certain things. Whereas you used to allow things to slide, you started to get the law involved. You started to call the police. You started to call lawyers. You started to get plans in motion to get a divorce. You started to implement restraining orders. This is part of you resisting the enemy. This is what made the enemy flee from you. It may have seemed like it was sudden, but it wasn't. You were doing lots of long suffering. You were giving this narcissist chance after chance after chance. You kept giving the narcissist opportunity. They didn't leave suddenly. They left after you won the good fight of faith. It may seem like the narcissist left you suddenly, but God scooped down, reached down to pick you up. God sent his angels to save you. They didn't leave you suddenly. It took some time for your discernment to kick in. It took some time for the things of God to be revealed to you, for God to reveal the truth to you. It took some time while you pondered things in your heart, while you kept reasoning and reckoning with this narcissist. Nothing about them leaving you was sudden. To everything, there is a season and a time and a place under the sun. You think that they left you, but God was protecting you at such a time as this. You think that they left you suddenly, but the vision tarried and you waited for it. You think they left you suddenly, but you got delivered. The narcissist did leave you because they had to flee, but they left you while you were walking into the marvelous light.